So I've just been so exhausted. Like, just imagine running to the bathroom like 20 times a day. Diarrhea, painful, bloody diarrhea where I'm thinking I'm gonna pass out on the toilet. I'm just like, holy. And then I get up and I'm like, oh, okay. Initially, when I first saw the blood, I was thinking, can I heal this on the carnivore diet? So I just started eating meat like regular, and it was just so painful. I was like, there's no way. I can't, no way. I got the blood test back. They are absolutely terrible. We'll go through that. So right now I'm no longer carnivore. My monkey ass has been vegan for like 13 days or something.
À-bas-le-ciel.
Dear Father, please send me more likes and followers and subscribers.
I'm not a Holocaust denier. I don't think it did happen. I don't think there was gassing of Jews for slaughter. That was a made-up thing by the Jews themselves. Apparently these concentration camps, and I'm about to say some good things about the concentration camps. I'm not a Holocaust denier, but the camps, like, they had theater, they had music, like, they were well fed, they were well taken care of. And it was only till like the last little bit where Germany was like in the war, their country is breaking down, the supply chain, they couldn't get food into the camps, and then yeah, people were starving to death. But it wasn't like they were put there and then starved intentionally. It wasn't like that at all from what I gather. I don't know, I'm just watching YouTube over here.
I am uploading so many videos for my subscribers. I ask you for your help in this one thing. It is the most important thing in my life.
Obviously, I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos. That doesn't make me very qualified on this matter because I could be being brainwashed by just another group of people. First, you have to ask yourself, why did Hitler take all the Jews and put them in a concentration camp? Why would that happen? I'm not a Holocaust denier. There's a couple different theories here, but the main one, which can't be denied, is that the Jewish people were taking over his country and they are pretty much in control of this entire planet. I'm not a Holocaust denier. When you think of the Illuminati and like the secret beings that control this earth, we may or may not be talking about the Jewish people. I'm not a Holocaust denier. They are controlling everything. If you just start researching what do the Jews control, it's like they control all the mainstream media, they control Hollywood, they control the banks. It's like they control this planet, and Hitler noticed this. I'm not a Holocaust denier. He basically gathered all the Jews, put them in a concentration camp, and he was like, get out of our country. He told them to leave, they would not leave. He gathered them up into a little camp, like a summer camp.
Like a summer camp.
I don't think there was gassing of Jews for slaughter. That was a made-up thing by the Jews themselves. I'm not a Holocaust denier. Let's face it, the Jewish people, they control the media. You have to understand I have nothing against Jewish people. I'm not a Holocaust denier.
Please send me more likes and followers and subscribers. It is the most important thing in my life.
À-bas-le-ciel.
The controversy of the moment is that a fool here on YouTube was foolish enough to put on a t-shirt with a Nazi swastika. He actually tried to sell t-shirts with a Nazi swastika. Made a series of anti-Semitic, Holocaust denial and pro-Adolf Hitler statements. Now, it is hilarious to me every time I've made a video of this kind that some people want to criticize my channel for daring to describe someone as a neo-Nazi who makes statements in support of Adolf Hitler. This is not a debate we're going to have, people, okay? If you go to the search bar on this channel and you search for the word Nazi, you search for the word racism, you're going to find some interesting earlier videos I made on those topics. By the way, shout out to Vegan Cheetah. Vegan Cheetah recognized that, I don't know, many months ago was already tackling these issues when nobody else was. And it's very rare here in the vegan YouTube demi-monde for there to be any kind of positive reinforcement for positive content like that. Almost nobody recognizes, hey, somebody already made a quality video addressing this topic in the past. You can check it out. We need more of that behavior from everyone across the board, and credit where it's due, even when I see that behavior coming from someone like Vegan Cheetah. So thanks to him for that. I think the first video I made under that heading, though, doesn't have Nazi in the title, was actually a response to a channel called A Privileged Vegan. Still an interesting video, still worth seeing. I'll give the link below here. But, I criticized also left-wing social justice warriors like A Privileged Vegan because I saw them making allegations of racism, allegations of white supremacism against people where it had no substance, making an allegation against Unnatural Vegan herself, making an allegation against Bite Size Emily, making allegations of this kind where there was no meaningful racism or white supremacism, while at the same time they were ignoring important examples of vegans who were neo-Nazis by this definition, people who were making videos saying supportive things about Adolf Hitler. So those issues have been discussed on this channel before. I like to address these problems in a way that will make this video right now still meaningful and interesting to watch if I come back and see it 5 years from now or 10 years from now when the controversy of the day is forgotten. I've suggested to you guys that we should all look in the mirror before you type a comment on the internet, before you make a statement verbally, in writing, whatever it may be. Would you say it in a cafe? If you would not say this in a cafe, why are you saying it on the internet? Now, this is getting trickier and trickier. In 2017, I think most people are no longer familiar with what it's like to talk about politics in a cafe. They're only accustomed to talking about politics on the internet. And this has a corrosive effect. This fool in the Nazi t-shirt, he said openly at one point in his video that he would not feel comfortable wearing the t-shirt he made, and the t-shirt he was trying to sell. He would not feel comfortable wearing it in a cafe. He wouldn't feel comfortable wearing it in public. And he talked about the difficulties he would get into in having conversations with strangers if he did so. So, that's a clue, even for someone this foolish. On some level, he is aware that what he's doing here on the internet is unacceptable, and that he himself, he doesn't expect it to be acceptable in public. And the internet is public. It's actually much more public than a conversation in a cafe that may be witnessed by 3 or 4 people, right? But I definitely think our generation is living through a collapse of the consciousness of what it means to be a public intellectual, what it means to be an intellectual engaged in political and social issues, just to be concerned, just to be compassionate, just to be awake and alive and engaged with the problems around us in the world and willing to talk about them in an open-minded and open-hearted way. The very simple point I was making in my earlier video on this, of course, it's obvious to everyone, we can lose sight of it. All this behavior is just motivated by an unending quest for more viewers, more subscribers, more fame, more attention. And most of the people playing this game do not distinguish between positive attention and negative attention. They're happy with any attention they can get. Now, this fool in the Nazi t-shirt, how else would he have gotten on Vegan Cheetah's channel? How else would he have gotten on a Natural Vegan's channel? How else would he have gotten the level of attention that he's gotten now? We've created an ecosystem here within the digital vegan demimonde where negative behavior, to put it that way, is rewarded. Okay? And you can even see this within my own channel. I'm self-critical about this, people. I really am. And positive content, useful content that's substantive, is not rewarded at all. Okay, now I'm talking about this because this is actually something we can change. If you go to my channel and you put in the search bar Nazi, you'll get to see the videos that have addressed some other vegan neo-Nazi situations. If you search for racism, you get some other videos on that. You know what else, though? You can put in the word book. Just the word book in the search bar. And you're going to see a bunch of really interesting, really useful book reviews. Why do I say they're interesting and useful? They're interesting and useful for you if you're already vegan, if you're already part of the vegan movement, or you're a vegan who one day aspires to be part of a real movement, right? Because most of us most of us are here on the internet because in real life we have our day jobs and we're not part of a movement. Maybe we aspire to be, but we're not, right? Book review, Half Earth by Edward O. Wilson, a book about ecology. I'll give you a vegan perspective on that. Rules for Radicals, a book about organizing political dissent and activism. I have a book review on that. Just 2 weeks ago, I uploaded a book review, Motivational Methods for Vegan Advocacy by Casey Taft. Okay, an important book in the movement. I give it a very harsh review, but still entertaining and interesting and stimulating. I think useful to watch. I had 2 videos discussing Zoopolis, a non-vegan political theory of animal rights, an important book in the literature. And I have a video up that's over an hour long, which is myself and Mod Vegan sitting down discussing back and forth the latest publication by Gary Francione. So that's a major, important, and recent book. I think that's 2015 or 2016, but recently published book on what the future of vegan activism and advocacy should be. Okay? These videos. I'm putting that content on the internet, and I might as well be flushing it down the toilet. Okay? It goes up on my channel, and then it sits there inert. There's no reaction. There's no cycle to it, right? Garbage, like this guy is creating, has a huge cycle. There are response videos and reactions, and this creates attention, whether it's positive attention or negative attention or both. Guys, we could change this. Other channels could see my book reviews and they can criticize me, they can disagree with my book review, they can read the book themselves, they can present their own perspective on it. Again, you can disagree with me, you can disagree with the book, or you can agree with me or agree with the book. And that would create a virtuous cycle of substantive, meaningful content gaining impetus within the vegan demi-monde. And that's totally lacking. And by contrast, whether it's so-called drama, just say like slander, gossip, and innuendo, does get recycled. Instead of a virtuous cycle, it's a vicious cycle, right? The more extreme and offensive, just negative and insane a video is, the more likely it is to go through this cycle. And I know someone like a natural vegan obviously has good intentions in addressing this, but I think she's also aware she's part of the problem, right? So great, you're making somebody famous for being a fucking neo-Nazi. That larger channels are cycling and recycling garbage of this kind, and they are not ever giving impetus to, giving another life to, giving response to, even in the form of criticism, positive and substantive content. Now, again, I don't see this as an either or, okay? You can look at a channel, I'm not hating on her, but you can look at a channel that's mostly fluff, like Supreme Banana. So Supreme Banana does videos about the food she ate at McDonald's, the food she ate at Wendy's, being a vegan and going to these fast food restaurants, being a vegan and trying to cook some kind of crazy pancake recipe. Okay, whatever. I don't hate it. It's fine. All you people who have bigger channels, whether you do pancakes or McDonald's, whatever, you know what? The fact that you make fluff doesn't mean you only have to make fluff. You can reach out to and recognize substantive content from somebody like me, from somebody like Mod Vegan. You can just say that you appreciate it. You can promote it. And I've been doing that on my channel from day one. There's some very small channels that found their whole audience because of me, because I promoted them. I recognized they were doing something of substance. You can create a virtuous cycle of positive content being recycled and responded to and reacted to and criticized and debated in a positive, constructive, and meaningful way. And one of the reasons why it's so important to do that is that currently the only content that gets picked up and recycled that way is this kind of crazy Nazi bullshit. And everyone knows it. So that's why there's this cleavage. It's the simplest moral standard of the world. Would I say this in a cafe? Would I do this in a cafe? Would I do this in public? No. But the type of conduct, the type of political discourse that is acceptable in the cafe, people know that's not going to lead to notoriety. That's not going to lead to the much coveted micro fame that people are trying to build for themselves here on YouTube. And again, we can change. We can change. we can choose to recognize that something is substantive and worth discussing, and discuss it for that reason. Not because it's the most outrageous thing, not because it's the most offensive thing, but because it's worth discussing, either because it is interesting in itself or because it is really meaningful for the future of the movement.